You're listening to Three Kitchens podcast, hosted by Erin Walker and Heather Dyer.
We're friends trying out recipes in our own regular home kitchens. We hope our experiences will inspire you to get creative in the kitchen. Hey, here we are, back at it again. I'm Erin Walker, and I'm joined by Heather Dyer.
Hello there.
And this is Three Kitchens podcast.
This is Three Kitchens podcast, everybody.
Woo, woo,
It's the
woo.
podcast you've been waiting for all week for this episode, right? Please say yes.
Please, somebody's
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited. You're cooking for me, I'm cooking for you. At least we're both excited about that part, right?
Oh, I'm always excited when food's involved or a really fun guest.
Yes.
We're feeling excited because we've had some good ones lately and we're just feeling all
Right.
kinds of happy.
So I had a moment of all kinds of happiness and excitement the other day when I was out at the cheese shop.
Well, that would make anybody happy. The
Okay,
cheese
just being at the
shop.
cheese shop there's a level of happiness. And then something I've been waiting for was available again. Yay! Might have gotten a little too excited, but
Did you do a dance in the cheese shop?
I don't know if I danced, but there might have been some jazz hands.
Oh, I imagine the people that work in there were also like, oh, let me tell you. Because if you work in a cheese shop, I'm having trouble putting those two words together. Cheese shop. I bet you get excited about cheese.
Oh, I would
I
bet.
would. Yeah.
They're excited for this episode because I'm going to be cooking with, ladies and gentlemen, Norwegian brown cheese.
The package that she's holding up says Ski Queen.
Ski Queen!
Ski Queen. And there's a picture of a goat on, looks like on a brown
Yes.
cheese ski hill. No, I don't
Except,
know.
well, it's like a clear, that's the color of the cheese.
Yeah.
So,
Nice. And your sweater matches it.
oh, look at that. See? I came to this one color coordinated with my food item. Guess what I'm cooking based on what I'm wearing? No, this is an iconic Norwegian cheese. I have never had it before, but I've got a recipe book, as you know, where they're using it. And I was like, I have to know what this is. Heather and I are big fans of cheese, bigger fans of goat cheese. And this is some sort of new, interesting goat cheese. Ding, ding, ding. Hello. Of course, I'm going to want to have it.
Hello. I have had it many years ago. My friend Carolyn introduced me to it. We went to an event of some kind at the Scandinavian Center, which is like a community center just a few
Something
blocks
fest.
from my house when we were in university. There was something
Ooh.
that was happening at the Scandinavian Center, and she was like, "Come along!" And there was all this food, and I was introduced to the cheese, and it was like, "What is this? Why have I
All
never
right.
eaten this?" And I don't think I've eaten it since.
Well, I've picked it up. I've done some research. So now I know what it is. I didn't even know what it was made from. I was just like, I have to have Norwegian brown cheese. I had no idea. So I've learned now that this is actually a byproduct of cheese making, is what they make this out of. It is the leftover whey from after. So when you're making cheese and you've got the whey leftover, which is like the liquid with stuff in it after you've removed the curd. Is
Okay.
is that a good enough explanation?
Well, I kind of have a sense because we've made cheese
Yeah.
before at home. So at one time I made
Once
goat
upon a
cheese,
time.
actually.
And you did make goat cheese. That's right.
Yeah.
So this leftover liquid from cheese making is cooked down until it caramelizes and turns a lovely deep brown color. And that's what this is.
Oh, it is color of caramel.
And it says salty caramel cheese on it. And this is actually the brand mentioned in my cookbook, even.
Ooh, lucky.
Can you believe all the stars are aligning
Yeah,
just
because
for me?
sometimes that happens that you're looking at a recipe, you really want to make it. It's from a place, the recipe developer lives in some place where they have different brands and different products, and you're like, oh no, I don't hope mine's the same. Well, lucky you.
And that's a problem, or maybe not a problem, but that's an obstacle that we often run into when anything with dairy or with
Hmm.
different cuts of meat. Different places butcher differently, different places process their dairy differently, and they get
Hmm.
different products, and we're always like, huh. So I think this might be like this, but it's always a guess. Not today. Not today, friends. Not today.
Not today, friends. That makes me think of not today, Satan.
I just saw that bumper sticker somewhere recently. Not today, Satan. Not
I
today.
got the cheese, the skinny
I got
pointy cheese.
they had two types. One was a goat cheese and one was a cow slash goat cheese. And the
Mm.
lady said it was a milder da da da. I was like, no, I want the full meal deal. So I got my little cube o cheese and I'm going to make something called thin pancakes with strawberries and brown cheese caramel.
Mm. I love it already. I've never eaten it. It sounds so good.
Yeah, so this will give us a good idea what this sauce tastes like. And it's like fruit and berry season coming up here. So I'm
Hmm.
thinking if you don't
Yep,
have the strawberries, I'm hoping there are other berries available maybe. We'll see what we can get.
totally. Yum.
This also suggests that you can just serve it with apple pie. And I don't know about you, but I'm not that big of an apple pie fan. I could take it or leave it. But apple pie has to be served with cheese.
I don't always eat apple pie, but when I do, I eat it with cheese.
Let me get my one leg up here.
We're just a meme.
We are just
One meme
repeating
after the other
things
today.
we have
Okay.
already seen. I
I am with you on this, actually. It's not my favorite pie,
thank you.
and I love it with cheese. I'll eat it without cheese too, but there's something about cheddar cheese in particular
Yes.
with apple pie.
A
Mm.
nice strong old cheddar. Gotta have it. You
Hmm.
There is no question in my mind. Apple pie plus cheese. So if you haven't done this, folks, jump on that right away.
Just put a nice slice over the top of your piece of pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
So I don't think I'm gonna go make apple pie, but I only need like half of this brick for it. So I'm also just gonna send some slices of cheese.
Mm.
And
Mm. I can't wait. I'm so glad that you're doing this.
I have not tasted this yet. It has been sitting in my fridge waiting for us to be ready and get going. I am like itching to pull this one
So
off.
that tells me I should expect this food to come
I
relatively
hope
quickly.
soon.
Awesome. Stay tuned for that. Luckily, you don't have to stay tuned for long because it's in about 30 seconds. You're
You've got
going to
about
hear all
30
about it
seconds to wait. I'm sorry, Heather, it might be more than that.
from me. Yes.
Hey, listeners. The recipes in this episode come from Nevada Berg's Norwegian Baking Through the Seasons cookbook. It's been out for a year now, and it is full of delicious, sweet, fun recipes with a special twist to them. So if you like baking and getting into your kitchen and creating sweet treats, we really recommend you check it out. And you can look her up on Instagram at Northwild Kitchen. Happy baking! Are you ready to talk pancakes, caramel cheese sauce?
Are you
Can
ready?
you tell we've been listening to hockey too much around here?
Oh,
I don't know. It's like,
I have one kid who's very into it suddenly.
hmm,
And we are not sports watcher people.
neither are we. This is why we're playing bandwagon parents right now. It's
I
really
know.
fun.
So I now, Erin, have a Sportsnet subscription of my very own.
Oh, you turds, you did it too.
I had to.
We caved and did it too because we were like, well, fuck.
Well, the stupid thing is you can't watch it otherwise.
No, you can't. I'm assuming that your child is also an Edmonton Oilers fan now.
Well, right at the moment.
In this
Sure.
moment. Yeah.
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
as is mine, right in this moment.
So the two of us talking about hockey, it's quite funny.
This is great.
Yeah.
If we can't or we don't have time or it's too late to watch it on TV, we've been tuning into it on the radio. I actually kind of enjoy listening to hockey on the radio. I have to say, I like trying to imagine what's going on as they're announcing it. Ooh, listen to that. And we're, analyzing the the
Okay.
lines and what players they're playing. It's gotten pretty intense.
Wow, you're better than me. I'm just like, okay, well, I will subscribe to this service. I will pay for it and you watch it. I'm not watching it.
It's
That's it.
$20 a month.
I know it's ridiculous. Stupid. I know.
Anyway, for whatever reason, hockey is the thing he loves. So
Well, like I said, could be worse.
we're loving it with him. It might be these pancakes after he has them because I haven't made these for the kids yet.
You haven't?
I have not. I made them only for us, Heather.
Oh
I didn't share them with my husband. I made us a full batch of the caramel sauce. I made a half batch of pancakes. So I've sent you 3. I had 3.
my God.
Do you feel like your sugars are out of control? Like,
Right. I just ate it. Yeah, I just ate it and then said, now we must discuss pancakes. I said, my husband walked into the kitchen and I didn't share with him because he doesn't like goat cheese and he was convinced it was going to taste like goat cheese, even though I told him it really does not.
yeah.
But he was not convinced. And so he was turning his nose up. So I ate the entire plate, all of it. Not all the caramel, obviously, but like all 3 pancakes, fruit and caramel and whipped cream. You can cut this and put it on the end if you want. But honestly, this was like one of the best fucking things I've ever eaten. That is not an exaggeration. And I believe the F-bomb is necessary as a descriptor in this case. So excuse my language, but holy fuck. So good.
This
Okay.
is like, so
Did you feel the same?
Heather's on a little bit of a sugar high. And by a little bit, I mean like off the
It's true.
fucking charts.
Sorry. And I'm also drinking
is
coffee,
Sugary.
sugar and caffeine. And
Woo! Oh, I had it yesterday afternoon and I was flying, man. So expect a full day of fun
Good.
until you crash.
I'll crash about 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Once the kids get home, then you can just give up and they can go play their video games and
That's
watch their
true.
hockey. And
Yeah.
we can be like, I need a nap.
Now I need to lie down and recover from my breakfast.
Well, I think this is a fantastic little pancake recipe. It's quick, it's easy to make. It really doesn't require that much for ingredients. And I really think you could make it sweet or savory because it's a very basic batter. I mean, if you put a little bit of cheese in here and wrapped it up, or like your fiddlehead with some yummy meltiness, like you could do a lot of things with this pancake. So
It's kind of like a crepe.
it's kind of like a crepe.
It's
It's a
thin.
very thin pancake batter. The recipe that she has makes, I'm going to assume like 12 of these puppies.
Oh, wow.
So I halved it. I thought a nice little half batch, if you're just making this for you and your friend and excluding everybody else,
And if you
just like us,
enjoy eating a large plate of it, which you will.
which you will.
Yeah.
So I did it by weight. It was 45 grams of whole wheat flour, 45 grams of all-purpose flour, a quarter teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of milk, and 2 eggs. So put together your flours and your salt and then slowly pour your milk in, and you don't want it to get lumpy. I think the trick is if you add all your milk at once, you're going to get a lumpy batter just because it's so thin. However, as I added just a little bit at a time, it became like a paste, and then that paste just thinned out as I added more of the liquid to it. And then once you've got all the milk in, you add your eggs one at a time and give it a good whisk, and then it sits. And they say let it stand for 15 to 20 minutes, you know, just like a little quick sit because you're not putting any leavening agent in it. So while you've got that pancake batter sitting, now you can prepare all these toppings. So I honestly think it's like well planned to be like in 30 minutes, you've got breakfast. Like it's
Wow.
really not a lot of work. You whip together these ingredients, let them sit. As they sit, you're going to prepare your strawberries and your caramel sauce. So your strawberries, wash them, cut them into little pieces, pop them into a small saucepan, and put in a tablespoon of honey. So I used 400 grams of strawberries with a tablespoon of honey. I guess I could have gone down to half a tablespoon of honey. They were pretty sweet, but you can kind of add that as you like. And you just cook them down until they start to thicken. and become like a little bit of a sauce. Once those are done, I just scraped out that pan, gave it a quick rinse, popped it back on the stove, and you add in 100 grams of your Norwegian brown cheese, half a cup of heavy cream, and half a cup of sugar. Over medium-high heat, you just keep whisking it until everything dissolves and it starts to bubble like a caramel sauce, and turn it off. And then at that point, you're ready to go put your pancakes in your pancake pan.
Nice. That is quick.
Yeah, like this really came together fast. And so you heat up a large frying pan. I would say go for a non-stick unless you know what you're doing. I don't. So I'm going to go for the non-stick pan. Heat that non-stick pan so that your butter sizzles. You want it like medium high again. And you put a third of a cup of batter, pour it in there, and like tilt your pan so that it covers the whole surface and it's nice and thin. It cooks for about 30 to 45 seconds. Flip it over, which is a little bit of a process. If it rips while you're doing it, just get a little bit of batter and put it back together, and it works like glue to make it look like a whole pancake again. You wouldn't know that I ripped 3 out of 6 of these pancakes.
Well, and who cares if you do? Who cares if it's ripped?
And who cares if you do? And once I figured out how to like pick it up and then just put it kind of on the handle of my spoon and pick it up and then flop it back over again kind of thing.
Okay.
30 seconds on the other side, they're done.
You're done. Wow.
It
so
was
quick.
fast. It was easy. And then you drizzle on your caramel sauce, you pop your strawberries on. You can fold it up, you can wrap it up, you can shove it in your mouth any way you want.
So you gave them to me folded into like
little quarters.
And I just kept them folded like that. I warmed them up just slightly in the microwave, but you could put them in your toaster oven or whatever. Just warm them a little bit if you're not eating them right away. I put the strawberries on top. I drizzled caramel all over it. I quickly whipped up whipped cream that you gave me the rest of the container of the lactose-free cream, which I really appreciated. I just whipped that up and put that on. I was like, oh my God, this is like so fancy. I would have thought that a lot more work went into it.
No, this was like, oh, look what I've done. But really, you've done nothing.
Like if you're entertaining somebody for breakfast or brunch, you're going to like, wow, you're going to knock their socks off with it. Oh,
I'm really happy to know that it was that resilient to keep overnight and then pop into, you could heat this up in your pan. You could heat this up any way you want.
Just throw them in the oven or a toaster oven.
Yeah, put them in your oven.
Up. Yeah. While you whip your cream or whatever, just warm them a little bit. Oh, so freaking good.
Talk to me about this brown cheese, because I also gave you a nice little hunk of brown cheese. I will be making something apple-y in the next little bit here, because I have to have that cheese with apple. Like there is just no like question in my mind, like a Danish or like an apple crumble or an apple pie. Like we are pro cheese on apple pie people. As soon as I tasted this cheese, I was like, oh my God, this has to go on something apple-y.
It's just, I don't even really know how to describe it. It's not like any other cheese.
No,
right?
It's like
it doesn't look like cheese. Yeah.
It's salty.
Brown. It doesn't look like
it's like got this like deep flavor to it, and then it finishes off like a goat cheese.
Yeah.
Almost. Oh.
Except when you made it into the caramel, it no longer tasted like anything like cheese. It just tastes like caramel.
It was a very like, it tasted like a caramel that you've like sat at the stove and stirred for like 45 minutes, thickening the milk to make it brown kind of thing. Like,
yeah, it's amazing.
That is essentially what it is though. Like we were talking about in the first half, that when you make a cheese, you add in some sort of acid that does something and you get your curd out of there. And then what's left behind is called whey, W-H-E-Y. And it's that whey that they then take and boil down and concentrate to make this cheese. And it just takes that flavor to a whole new level.
It's very interesting. It's hard to describe. And it's not like, if you just saw it, you wouldn't even know it's cheese. You'd be like, what's this? Like, it's just it's so kind of fascinating.
Like, it almost looks like, you know, those bars of Macintosh toffee that you get?
It looks like toffee. You're right.
It looks like that.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love it
no.
though. It's so good.
This is something to source out. If you can find this brown cheese, oh my gosh, yes. And I'm gonna
And
do this with all sorts of berries. This is what we're gonna be having for breakfast tomorrow. I'm gonna treat the
oh,
family. We're gonna have thin pancakes and all these delicious toppings.
yeah, I'm gonna make it for the kids too. Well, my husband will eat the pancake. He just didn't want the anything to do with the goat cheese. But you know what? His loss. The kids and I will eat it. We love it. I am not
Yep.
wasting it on you. Like, come on. Somebody is going to have to help me eat this, or I will literally eat that whole jar with a spoon over like the course of 2 days. I know I will. I'll be in the
Yeah.
fridge, opening it up, dipping a
Just
spoon in there like every chance I get because I can't stay away because
yeah.
it's just so delicious. So tomorrow, I think I'm going to do that too. I'm going to try to make the, send me the recipe in
Okay.
advance. I'm going to try it out.
I'll send you the advanced copy of this
Yeah.
recipe. Thanks for liking and subscribing.
I'm a Patreon
Ooh.
subscriber, and so I get sneak peek. What reminded me of both the recipe and the way that you make them reminds me of the panakoken because I just made that last night. We
Oh,
had
that's
it
right.
for dinner, and it's a very similar recipe. The difference being you mix the milk and the eggs together. And then you do the same thing where you add a little bit in, you kind of make it a paste with your flour, you add
Okay.
some more, you make because you don't want lumps in it.
Right.
And you do the same kind of thing where you put it in the pan and you swirl it around and make it thin.
Right.
And then in this case, you put toppings on it, or you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
But when you said you could make them sweet or savory, that's exactly like the panakoken where you can
That's
make it sweet or
true.
savory. And it's very similar technique. So that's why I feel like quite confident that I could make these pancakes because I've made the panakoken a few times.
Yeah.
And I know it's like, it's a little tricky the first time you got to flip it, especially when you've got
Mm.
toppings on it.
Yes.
But once you sort of get that down a couple of times and you realize it doesn't matter if it kind of breaks or
Yeah.
makes a bit of a mess, it's fine. It's so tasty and really it's quite resilient.
Yeah.
Like it holds up to, like you said, fold it, unfold it. You could probably roll it like a crepe if you wanted to.
Yeah. This is nice and simple. And I like that it's got the whole wheat flour in it. It just
That's
makes
the
it a little
difference.
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It just makes it a little bit heartier.
Oh, these were so, this, I was not exaggerating when I said it's one of the best things I've eaten. It was just so good.
It's that caramel sauce.
Yeah, so
That
good.
caramel sauce is to die for.
Genius. I don't know if Nevada Berg made up this type of caramel or if it's a thing that's common in Norway, but whoever came up with it, genius.
Changing my life, as always.
I always think when people say things are like life changing, that it's extremely
Is that an
like,
over exaggeration?
yeah, like that's just like a big statement to make, you know?
You eat these things and then you can never go back. I don't know about you, but anytime I eat something that is particularly good, I can't go back to like the lesser quality product. Like I can never buy caramel out of a squeeze jar now.
That's the problem.
This is, you see, it has changed
Yeah.
my life.
This is just like a totally different texture.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
creamy as
Yeah.
opposed to sugary. I don't know.
See, you can never go back.
I know.
I
You've
bumped you up
ruined
a
me.
bracket.
God damn it.
Thank you, Nevada.
Oh, you've just given Erin so much fun time experimenting.
Oh,
Anyway,
well, thank
that's
you for
fun.
enjoying breakfast.
Oh,
Happy to bring
thank
it to
for-
you.
Oh my God, thank you. Like, seriously. Can't wait to eat it again. And now for the fine print. Links to recipes and other things we talked about in this episode can be found on the show notes or our website, www.threekitchenspodcast.com. Come say hello on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok. We'd love to connect. And if you enjoy the show, pass it on. Word of mouth is the #1 way people learn about new podcasts. Thanks for listening. It's funny that you just said this is the thing that's...
The Norwegian brown cheese has changed my life.